Good afternoon. This is Jan Martin with the South Dakota Discovery Center with Remote Learning Hacks for elementary students. And today we're going to talk about asteroids, comets, and meteors, things that are basically space debris that sometimes we have misconceptions on, and we're going to explore resources that NASA has available for educators and for parents to do at home or in school. And the reason I'm going to start with the reason why I chose to do this today. Is that today, near Earth orbit is an asteroid known as 52768. It's a fairly large asteroid, and it was in Earth's orbit all of about 4 million miles away, but that is visible through our various telescopes. We aren't in any danger of this large asteroid, but it was visible today, except it was cloudy, and so the various astronomers couldn't take recordings of it like they had planned. But it's a large one. It's 1.5 miles in diameter. And there are also other large asteroids out there, as well as lots of itty bitty asteroids. And so today we're going to look at asteroids and resources on how we can learn about asteroids. And then we're going to learn the difference between asteroids, comets, and then the relationship of meteors to both asteroids and comets. So we're going to go now to the NASA website that we're going to work from today, which is put in the links for this show, and it's the Science Place, Space Place, NASA.gov. They have so many. So what's really nice about this one is that we can go in and look at the solar system, the Earth, the sun, galaxies, science and technology. And then there's also a link that's a really nice launching pad for all the other NASA resources. The little red apple on the side, on the far right on your screen, gives you the listing of all the different other NASA links and jet propulsion links that give you lots and lots of ideas and information for things that you can do in the classrooms, elementary through high school. So in all of these resources, we have a lot of different options. There's lots of videos built in, there's games, there's crafts, as well as an opportunity to on this link, you can subscribe to ongoing feeds if you're interested. So we're going to move over to the solar system. And in the solar system, of course, we see our solar system up there on the banner. And what we're going to do today is to start and talking about asteroids. And what's the difference between an asteroid and a meteor? Because that's always the question people have. Well, asteroids are described here on this page, and they're just a small rocky object. And the small goes anywhere from, pebble size to a number of miles in diameter. It's an object that orbits the sun, just like the Earth and the planets, other planets, but they're way out there in space. Most of the asteroids are found between Mars and Jupiter and in an asteroid belt. And asteroids are rocky. Some asteroids have metals. Some have, different other kinds of minerals and things. So there's a variety of things with asteroids, and the pages show you all the different things there are to do, about an asteroid. And then you go from an asteroid to a meteoroid. And this is the really important piece of learning, is that asteroids are larger. Meteoroids are small pieces that have been chunked off of the asteroid. It also could be small pieces that have come off of a comet. But the meteoroids are little baby asteroids, is the best way to do this. And because they're so small, And when they get chunked off, they may not have the orbit. They aren't going to stay in orbit, so they're going to start falling to sky through the sky into the Earth's atmosphere. And so when a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, it becomes a meteor. And it's a streak of light in the sky. There are times of the year where we have lots of meteors, just based on the orbits, the rotation, the revolution of the Earth's orbit around the sun. We're in position near various places in the asteroid belt, and we get a lot of asteroids, and they're streaks of light. They're not falling stars, but they're pieces of space debris falling to Earth. And as they fall to the Earth and enter the Earth's atmosphere, we get those bright flashes of lights. And then the third one that we're talking about today are comets. Well, comets are also orbiting the sun. Comets are made of ice and water and dust, not rock. That's the big difference. A comet is ice, water, and dust. And they also, as they get close to the sun, it's the vapors from the water evaporating that causes the tails that we see when we think about comets. And then the final thing, when meteors fall to the Earth, sometimes we get large ones. And on this page, they talk about that as well. Meteorites that fall to the Earth that are very large and don't fall apart on their way in will sit on the Earth's surface. They look like rocks. And they also have lots of large craters in some places in the Earth. We can find craters that were meteors, but that were meteorites. So we've got asteroids, we have comets, we have meteoroids, meteors, and meteorites. So all these different elements, and you can read it. The nice thing about this is you can read about this. This page was a lot of had the comparisons between them all. There's other links onto the side of the page that take you to other places. And so now what we're going to do is go over to the page on comets. And comets are under a different tab, so we're going to move on up back to the solar system. And here we go. We're going to build a comet on a stick. Now, this is actually, I thought was going to be a lot of fun, because what you're going to do is you need 3 colors of ribbon. And I happen to have kind of went into my ribbon supply, some red ribbon, which is for this smaller part of the comet's tail known as the coma. Then we have silver ribbon, which is a little bit longer. And then I have some really long coppery ribbon. And each of these lengths of ribbon represent one part of the comet's tail. So I've tied the ribbons onto the top of a chopstick. These are for my walk. And you can use a popsicle stick or a regular chopstick. I just happen to find that. So you need the ribbons and you need foil. And so you start with making sure we have all of the ribbons off to one side, and we start squishing and squishing and squishing and squishing and squishing and squishing, because this now becomes the nucleus of the comet. And to make it bigger, a little more. And then if you wanted it even bigger, and so now we have a comet, a model of a comet. And this You can then swirl around, and as you swirl it, the faster you can see the tail swooshing by, which is what you would see through the sky. So this makes a nice, simple model of comet behavior as it is orbiting in what one can see. So I am one who really loves to do lots of activities that help make the science real. And there were lots of things on other things on the NASA website, but the one that I'm not going to demo today because it's way too messy is impact craters. So it could be modeling impact craters on the moon, impact craters on another planet, impact craters on the Earth, which would on the Earth would be coming from a meteorite. So you take a pan that has some sides. You could use something like this large baking pan or other things. You coat the bottom with a layer of flour. Make it kind of smooth. Then you put a thinner layer of cocoa powder. Get the idea, this is going to get messy. And you've got that. This is best done outside or in a situation where you are able to put the pan on the floor with something to protect the floor, towels or old shower curtains or painter's cloths and things like that. And then you make your meteorites. You can make them out of foil. You can try to make different sizes. You can make them heavier by putting marbles or other kind of weighted objects in the center of them. And then this is where the fun begins. And you want to do this in a way so you can kind of control the experiment as you're dropping your meteorites. Which ones make craters? Which ones make more dust? Does the height, the distance that you're dropping it make a difference? Is it the impact or is it the mass of the meteor? If you've got some weights inside a ball of foil, is that going to be different than just a small ball of foil? So you can do a lot of different things to explore how meteorites create impact craters. And then today, we're going to eat an asteroid as the third activity, and that one has also been posted with the links with this website. And I did the experiment this morning using some instant potatoes. The recipe, and I call this a recipe, the recipe is either for instant potatoes or making it with fresh mashed potatoes. I had a box of instant potatoes, and I have no idea why I have that box of instant mashed potatoes because it's not something I normally cook with. And so I figured I just would use it up. So these are the asteroids after I've made them, and we can see cracks and crevices and some different colors because you add cheese. Well, I squished these on purpose because it turns out using the mashed potatoes that I used, they were very, very wet. And so this is what they did when I put them in the oven, even though I had them all mounded up in little asteroid shapes, but they spread out. So some of them, as they came off and I was cooling them, I created my asteroids. I would recommend making them with regular mashed potatoes. The recipe gives you the directions for the project, gives you the information on how to make it for either 4 cups of potatoes, mashed potatoes, or 8. So now I have some left over, and this is, I'm going to see if letting it sit a little longer, and I added some flour to the mixture, and then you just mold them. You mold them and put them on. You could either grease your pan. I like to use parchment paper. Makes it a little easier for cleaning up. You bake them for about 25 minutes in a 375-degree oven. And you have asteroids for dinner. I had planned on having asteroids for dinner. After I bake this batch, we'll see if I am going to have asteroids for dinner, see if these come out a little better than the other ones. But this is another way of getting your hands dirty, looking at how you can model something that we don't necessarily have an opportunity to get our hands on. Because asteroids, if an asteroid were to fall to the Earth, consequences are certainly a lot more significant than if a small meteor or even a larger meteorite would fall to the Earth. So that's today's remote learning hack for younger students and even older students, because the NASA resources are a wealth of information studying everything from Earth and Earth systems to the universe and beyond. And you can find out lots of information about current NASA missions, including things that are getting ready to actually. NASA missions have been studying asteroids, flying to them. There's also talk and exploring ways to get spaceships, rockets, and the right equipment to mine some of the larger asteroids that are good, that are plentiful in things like iron and other minerals and that we need here on Earth. So it is an interesting opportunity to learn some more about asteroids, which are more than just space rocks, space debris. So again, thank you very much. And this is Jan Martin signing off with her fingers full of potato. Have a great afternoon, everyone.